Hello everyone, this is Unreal Noob and today I'll be showing you how to make a drone system. Once you press a button, it will go open up the drone, possess the drone, and it has a nice way once it moves from the right to the left and left to right. It has a nice way like a drone should. You can move forward, backward, you can go up, go down, and the number in the middle shows the distance between the drone and the ground or whatever you are pointing at. For the Corsair I have used a white dot because I do not have the assets. mm, and also once you are out of range, the message out of range will pop up along with a timer. You have to get back in range within that timer, otherwise if you do not, it will just destroy itself once the timer runs out and possess the player. And I can also press the same button as the deploy button to just snap out of the drone and possess back the player. And also if you are having a drone system, you might want to fire with it, so I have like explosives fire out the drone that attacks the player or whatever it collides with. So I'll be teaching you this today. Hopefully I can finish it in one video. If I cannot, I will split it into two parts. So without any delays, let's get started. I'll minimize this one and start up the Epic Games launcher and launch the editor. I will click on games. We'll choose the third person template. Click on next. Blueprints, I'll call it drone project and create the project. And while it loads, I'll start off the Epic launcher once again and launch it once again because I want the drone static mesh, the UE4 static mesh that comes with the Epic engine. So I will click on games again, click on the flying, click next. I'll call it flying and create. I'll go open up the blueprints, flying pawn, click on the plane mesh and click on this search magnifying glass and click on it, and it will bring me to the folder where the static mesh is. Then I can right click, go to asset actions and migrate, and then choose the folder you have. I have called it drone project, and under the content folder I'll just place it. And once it's successfully migrated, I will close this one, and I can check that under flying I have the static meshes imported. I'll open up the third person BP folder, and under blueprints I will get my third person character, this one, and I will just duplicate this and call it drone. Let's open this one up. We do not need a lot of codes such as this gamepad input, VR, the jump, and the touch inputs below. Okay, since that is a static mesh, we will add a static mesh under this mesh. If yours is below, just put it under the static mesh. We'll clear the mannequin that we have, and we do not want to use any animation over here. And for the static mesh, I will add the UE4 one static mesh, and that should be done. And in character movement, default land movement should be flying, and water movement should be flying as well. Gravity scale to be 0, and I don't like to compile and save every time, so I'll just click on this drop down and save one, compile to on success only. So I don't have so I can just compile and it will save automatically if it's successful. So let's see how this one plays. I'll click on the third person game mode, and selected game mode I'll change the default point class to be the drone and delete this one. Save and play. Yeah. Let's just first move it up, rotate it to 90, make the capsule half height to be 60 and radius to be 60 as well. Move the static mesh a bit up front like that, and we don't want this kind of a movement, so for that we want to go to character movement, type in rotation, and we want to uncheck the orient rotation to movement and use controller desired rotation should be checked. Once that's done, we compile and it saves automatically, and now we have what we want. It only moves when we rotate the mouse. Also, there's a slight issue that it moves a lot to the left or to the right even when we are leaving our right and left. So let's see. Let's go to the character movement again, type in friction. We want to use separate braking friction to true. Braking friction should be 2 and lateral friction should be 1. Compile again, and now we do have a sway, but it's more like the drone sway we want once it's moving left to right, not too much. So that being done, let's change the arm length to 0 and move it up in front like this. Compile, play. Now yeah, we can see the drone like this, and we have the movement. Now we want to move up and down, so let's go to the project settings, click on the input. We want axis mapping up and down. Move up. We'll have it on a space bar while moving up, and control if we want to go below. Once that's done, open up the drone and we'll call in the event move up axis event, and from here we'll get the capsule component and add world offset. We'll split this one, put it to Z. Actually, yeah, we might have to multiply it. Let's see. Yeah, it's moving up and down, but it's slow, so we should be multiplying this one. Float times float. For me 5 works just fine, but it's up to you, whatever you want to have it. So 5 works fine for me. So it moves like that, but I want to set a boundary. After that it cannot move up or move down, so I'll call in the begin play and get the capsule component and set get world location, and I'll promote to variable. I'll call it UE4 spawn location. I'll get that. I'll get the world location as well. I'll split it split this one as well, and set world location. I will make vector. So I'm doing this one float minus float from the z. So this one will be how much I can move below my spawning location, and this one will be how much I can move above my spawning location. I'll clamp this z of float with float cam float, and then the minimum would be the -1 and the positive will be the +1, and in return we'll put it to the z over here, and the y and the x goes as they are. So now I can go to a distance of 2000, and after that I can no longer go up. So that would be up to you how much you want it to move up or down. I'll comment it up. Move up slash down. Now we want the camera to sway left and right when you move. So for that, let me just increase this one and get the player controller. We want to set control rotation. We'll make rotator. We'll get control rotation. So what do we want to move? First of all, let us visualize. So when we are moving left to right, we want to rotate in the x1, see, like this and like this. When we are moving to the right or to the left, yeah. So it's the x-axis we want. So that would be the roll. So we'll split it again, put in the y and the z, because we'll just be changing the x. We want to promote this axis value to a variable. We'll call it the current axis current right value, and plug in sorry, not for that. We want to interp the axis value. What interpolation does is it takes a current value and it moves the from the current to the target within some delta time. We'll get world delta seconds in some delta time, and with a speed of, let's say, if we have 2, so it will move by the points of 2. The speed will move by points of 2. So what it does is, let's say the current value is 0 and I have pressed the move right. Okay, so that is for me the right is the D key and the left is the A key. So when I press the D key, the target is set to -1 and the current is 0. So it's moving 0 to 1 within some delta time, and that will set as the current right value at that time. So what it does is it gets from the value 0 to -1 within the delta time. So there's a nice transition that it gives, so that we get, there is, but we cannot feel it right now. So what I'll do is multiply it. For me, I've seen 10 is the perfect, but you can tweak it out on what you want. So as you can see, when I'm moving to right, it rotates smoothly and it comes back to its original 0 location. So what happens if I do not interpret? So this one will just go directly go to the target because that is the target. So yeah, sorry about that. Let's do it into 10 and then in the X. So it will just go to directly to, without that smooth rotation, it will just directly tilt it. So that's why we want to use our interp 2, so that we can get that smooth transition from the current value to the target value, and that is it. That's how we get this smooth transition. Now that everything is set, uh, we want to spawn it from the player character. Everything's set. So let us open our third person character, and before that we want to go to the project settings, input, and do action mapping. We'll call it deploy drone, and I will have it on Z. You can have it on whatever you want. I will right click to call the action event deploy drone. When I press it, what I want to do is spawn actor from class. We'll get the capsule component, get world location. I'll split this one as well. Make vector. Yeah, for the X, Y we don't want to do anything. For the Z though, we want it to be 500 above the player. We want get world rotation, and it will be, and the collision handling override would be try to adjust location but always spawn. And yeah, of course we need a class, we'll call it the drone. And from this drone, yeah, we want to possess that drone from this player. So we'll get the player controller, and then we'll call in possess. It's a function that already is provided to us by Unreal, and we'll plug in the return value to pawn. So what this should, yeah, let us change our default pawn class in underworld settings to be third person character again. So we start with this. If I press Z now, I am the drone and he is just standing over there. Now we can control the drone as we want it to, but we can't move out. So what we need to do is go back to the drone. We call the deployed drone action event again, and before that, from begin play, we do a sequence and then cast to third person character, get player pawn, and promote this one to variable, call it character reference. So we get this character reference, we right click on it and convert to validate get, and if it is valid, what do we want to do first? Yeah, we want to get player controller possess back, and before possess we want to destroy this actor. This is also, just because we are running before we press Z, it's like that, but we don't want that. But now what we have, like, we can deploy the drone and get back to ourselves. and it destroys. So let us stop the character from running. So how we can do is drag this character movement, and from here set movement mode to none, and we also check if it is falling. If it is falling, we branch it. We don't want to do it if it's falling, so we want a not boolean and we plug that in. So when we are not falling, only then we can uh, deploy the drone, otherwise not. If I'm falling, see, I press Z but I cannot, but once I land, the drone opens up, and now I'm no longer running. Even if I'm running and press Z, see, he will stop because we have set the movement mode to none, so it will stop whatever animation it was playing. So the first thing is done. We can open the drone, we can close the drone. Let us comment this one out. Deploy drone. Let's see how far this video has already been 22 minutes, so I will make another part of it, of this drone tutorial, and I will add the remaining of the things. So see you guys in the next one.